we are going to make Matt's favorite ceviche. It's actually the only ceviche I've ever made for him because he likes it and he doesn't like to change once I make something that he likes. So we recently, I would say maybe 6 months ago, switched from tilapia to other white fishes. I was doing fresh mahi for a couple of months, and then Matt had the great idea that he wanted to start eating shrimp, which is totally fine by me because it's way easier to handle. I actually buy medium-sized shrimp from Trader Joe's. It actually only calls for you to defrost the shrimp. They're already peeled and deveined. The tails are off. So I do everything for Matt. I don't do anything in bulk. I do everything per order, kind of like it's a restaurant. I feel like if you're gonna actually sacrifice really delicious food, you're going to get the best possible food that can come out of this kitchen. So I do everything fresh to order for him throughout the day. So his first fish meal is going to be 14 ounces of shrimp. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is weigh that out for him. Like I said, this shrimp is actually pretty easy. I did not grow up eating shrimp. I'm actually very much Jewish, so I've never tried this shrimp. But he loves it, and I can kind of taste with my eyes. So we're gonna go exactly to 14 ounces, as that's what his diet says, and Matt does not deviate from his diet, ever. There you go. So 14 ounces, that's where we're gonna start. And Matt doesn't like to use, Matt doesn't like me to use anything additional. What I mean by that is everything should taste really good from just really fresh ingredients. I try not to use any pre-made sauces or anything of that nature, so I know exactly what's going in his food at all times. I'm gonna start with the serrano chilies. I use 1 full serrano chili. I do seed it and I do put on gloves. It's super important when dealing with serrano chilies because if you don't use gloves throughout the day, if you touch your face or your eyes or anything like that, you will be on fire. I mince my serrano chilies and I use a vegetable knife. Unlike Dusty, who uses butter knives or mallets or whatever else you can find in his kitchen, I do believe that using the correct utensils when doing food prep gives it a much more wonderful experience. I actually enjoy doing food prep. It doesn't bother me. It's not a job for me. I enjoy it. You just sit there and eat, okay? Do what you're good at and sit there and eat. Both of you. For me, it's not a job. I actually find it quite relaxing. If I'm having a bad day, I actually come into the kitchen and I cook. Hanshaw.
Sorry, get back to you.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the serranos. I'm going to use a chef's knife for this. I'm gonna say about half a cup of fresh cilantro. I take all the stems out first before I chop it. And just make sure that it's, when you're taking a bite of ceviche, you don't want to just be eating whole bunches of cilantro. So we'll get that nice and small. And we'll go ahead and add that to the bowl. Next thing that's super yummy in ceviche is we're gonna use red onion. Super important about the red onion, I would say, is to make sure that it's a super small dice. If you do a super small dice with the red onion, it's not going to be overpowering in the ceviche. And so between the lime and the onion, the acidity actually cooks or marinates and then kind of cures the shrimp and gives it a really great flavor. So we'll go ahead. And I would say that's about 3 tablespoons of fresh red onion. Now, I also use baby heirloom tomatoes. I take about 3 baby heirloom tomatoes and I cut them into 1/8. I go ahead and I add that. And then I add some bell peppers. So I would say maybe 2 tablespoons of bell peppers are gonna go into that. And all of it's just gonna make it really fresh tasting is kind of what I'm going for. Other than that, those are gonna be my ingredients. I'm gonna go next for salt, pepper, and fresh lime. And there you have it, ceviche. Because I didn't have my salt and pepper. Huh? You can keep going, I just didn't have this in front of me. Oh, I'll use the salt. Okay. So we're gonna add some salt. I personally like to use kosher salt. I think it gives it a little bit more of a bang. Some fresh pepper. And I would say about 2 full limes, freshly squeezed. This is gonna go into a container. I do this in the morning. This is gonna go into a container. He doesn't get this till about meal 4, so it allows it to sit in the lime juice for a little bit and taste really great. So there you go, shrimp ceviche. Eat with your eyes, so if it looks good, you know it's gonna taste good.